This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
Welcome to Primates Podcast, the podcast where we talk about primates in popular culture, starting from chimpanzee and going all the way down to chimpanzee. With me today, I've got two very special co-hosts and very special primates of mine. Firstly, David Warneke from the Do Go On podcast.
Hello.
It's so good to have you in here, David.
It's great to be here with a fellow primate.
This is the first you're going back to back. You were here last week.
I know. Am I going to be every week now?
Well, let's see how we go.
All right, let's see how I go. All right.
What?
I did well last week, obviously. Carryover champion.
Carryover champ, that's right.
See if I'm back next week. All right.
Yeah, we're also joined by Challenger and host of the Gamey Game
Boo.
YouTube sensation of a gaming show. Is that right? Is that what you told me to say, Evan?
Yeah.
Evan Munro-Smith.
Yay.
It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you in here. All the way down from your office across the hall.
Can we have monkey names?
Yes. What's your monkey name? Evan the Monkey?
Evan Monkey Smith.
Okay, that's pretty good. David Monkey.
Dave Munke.
Davy Jones
Great.
from
What?
the Monkeys.
From the Monkeys.
Oh.
Grow up, Evan.
Davy Jones. If I had a monkey, I would call it Davy Jones for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Any option? Any other options? I don't think so.
No, that's all I can think of.
And your own monkey name, Monkey King.
yes, that's it, Monkey King.
At
Thank
the
you.
Monkey King Stewart.
That's right.
Jones.
I've long been called that anyway, so it's nice to formalise that here tonight.
It's great to finally have context.
We're basically recording this. I'm going to put this straight onto the internet after this.
We're going out live.
It's basically live. We're on only a very slight delay. This will be up on the internet airwaves.
Oh, there's only a
In a matter
3-hour delay. Anything could happen.
Anything could happen.
Do you have a dump button?
Yeah, I've got my finger over the dump button, but I also have a no editing policy, so it's a real tight spot that I'm in.
If you hit that dump button, do you just delete the previous 3 hours of recording?
Yeah, it's
No, who else was in here before? If your material's gone.
it's
This
a
is
real
the computer's
nightmare.
reset button.
Evan, last
Yes.
time you were in here, we talked about Donkey Kong, the classic Nintendo game.
Yeah.
And at the start of most episodes, we asked our guests what their favorite primate is. And you said humans. And everyone hated you. Certainly I
Really?
did.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think there was any other
was a bit of a
feedback
cop-out.
beyond that. It was a little bit of a cop-out. It was also, I couldn't tell.
It's the first one I could think of.
It was a genius and awful answer. It was like that episode on Gaming when someone asked you your favorite Disney character and you said the kid from Toy Story.
I forgot that.
Do you hate anything that's not human?
I just love
And
people.
do you mean that kid that like tortured all the toys and like sewed them together?
No, Andy, the good kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not the sewer.
Not the
Woody's
sewer.
owner.
Yeah, the one who forgot about Woody and let him get in the hands of the sewer. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Toy Story, are we?
Are we?
I don't think so. What's
Maybe
your
one day.
favourite primate?
I had this cool primate named Barbara's Brown Titty.
What?
Okay. Did I zone out
It's
for a
a
second? there?
it's a critically endangered species.
That no one's ever laughed as they've said critically endangered species before. You're the first person to find that so funny. You're such a human.
There are less than 250 mature Barbara Brown's titties.
Well, that's a very mature name,
Oh, no.
so that makes sense.
It's a New World monkey.
Yeah, right. Can I have a quick squiz?
I haven't got a picture. They're critically endangered.
Oh, right. There's no pictures of them.
No.
We can't waste any of them on photo shoots. They're critically endangered. Titties. All right, great. That's very good.
Has anyone
Thank
ever brought in their least favourite primate?
No one. I don't think so. What's your least favourite? Maybe someone has.
The Megalatopus.
Ooh. Is that the Latin?
Megalatopus, informally known as the koala lemur.
What?
It was on the island of Madagascar, 1.3 to 1.5 meters tall.
Wow.
Quite big, but
Sizey.
I'm afraid that it's now extinct.
Oh, and that's your least favourite? Talk about kicking a primate when it's down.
Insult to
Wow, that is
injury.
a wild looking.
It's actually really cool, isn't it?
That looks awesome.
Basically,
Wow.
I Googled, first of all, list of primates, then remembered that that's not how you spell it.
Not well. It is now.
And then I went
the
list
English
of primates,
language.
and this is the most obscure one, but I just wanted to have one that I disliked. But now I feel sorry for him. Sorry, everyone. I wish I'd talked about Barbara's brown titties or whatever it was called.
Barbara Brown's titty.
Oh, that's way better.
Right. Get it right.
It's a
please,
bit
Dave.
weird saying brown. Anyway, don't worry.
This is a show of science, so it's important we get
I know. I tried to talk about the megalatopus.
I'm just saying if you said Barbara Brown's titty, then it sounds, because the way you said it, it sounds, never mind.
I mean,
okay.
I just can't tell the difference between the way we're saying it.
Yeah.
I'm saying,
Yeah, spell it out for me.
You're putting the S in a different spot, I think.
I think
Who
so.
owns it? You're changing the ownership.
Hang on.
Is there
Is
any
it Barbara's brown titty or is it Barbara Brown's titty?
I'm double checking.
I was saying Barbara Brown's titties.
No, it is Barbara Brown's titty.
What?
But if you put titties on the end, like the
Oh, okay.
plural, it sounds more suggestive.
Of a monkey
Yes.
who is critically endangered. So if you could stop chuckling away over there, take this seriously for a second.
It's threatened by deforestation.
Deforestation.
No.
Any forest with lots of deers.
Yeah, they can't live there.
No.
Never mind.
Deforestation. I'm writing to you today to say stop having a go at those.
Barbara's brown titties.
Give them a bloody chance.
What are we
Signed,
talking about this
Primates
week?
podcast. This week we're talking about the
Thanks,
episode
Evan.
of The Simpsons. Dave's coming back in. He's got a mission. His new life mission is to come into Primates and talk about every last primate on The Simpsons. Mm-hmm. Potentially then onto Futurama and all of Matt Groening's works. Groening's.
Edit
you-
as applicable there.
So this week we're talking about the episode with Mojo, the helper monkey, which is called Girly Edition. It was episode 21 of season 9. It was released in June 1998.
Wow.
Over 20 years ago now.
It's crazy.
Wow.
I remember it like it was about 20 years ago. This is the synopsis of the episode from TV Tropes. It says, because of FCC's push for more educational programming for children, Krusty is forced to cut 10 minutes out of 3 hours and 10 minutes of his show for a kids' news program. Ding. That's something I say after I finish a sentence. Lisa is hired as the head anchor, but it's Bart who becomes famous when his over-the-top sports news segment gets him the co-anchor seat, and he uses his new position to report sappy human interest stories instead of news stories that matter. Meanwhile, and this is where it gets interesting, Homer adopts a helper monkey named Mojo after seeing a wheelchair-bound Apu use one. But Homer ends up turning the monkey into a slob. So that's the synopsis.
Spoiler.
A lot of spoiling there, obviously. If you don't want this episode spoiled, hopefully you did not listen to any of that.
I mean, just pause and watch the 20-minute episode, then come back.
So what are you guys fans? I mean, we know Dave's a big Simpsons fan. Evan,
Yeah, I'm a massive Simpsons fan.
we know this because we watched your personal edition of season 9, episode 21.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
had an introduction from Evan on the screen. Well, welcome. If you're watching this, I'm Evan Munro-Smith.
Evan
no,
Monkey Smith.
That's right. It came from I've got a hard drive with every episode of The Simpsons on it. All the good episodes anyway. It did go downhill and I stopped keeping track.
At what season do you reckon you go up to?
I think I go up to maybe season 26, but it falls off a cliff well before that.
Oh, I was going to say, like, you mean you've
calls
downloaded
the
every
cliff.
episode except last week's episode?
I don't know what they're up to now.
I think you say season 12 is the cliff. Is that right?
I really like the first 10 seasons, I reckon. But even this one, I still don't think it's peak Simpsons.
It's not peak. It's over. It's beyond peak. Yeah.
What was this again? Season 9?
They say, I think season 2 to 8 are the golden period. Is that right? Anyway, it doesn't matter. But this is on that cusp. It's starting to get a little silly.
It is pretty silly, but it's a really good episode.
I think it's a really good episode as well.
Every time I watch an episode from this era, I'm reminded of just how good of a show it was.
Yes, it was a real great show. That had me lolling. We just watched it in the studio moments before recording, and
3 grown adults watching a screen, all wearing headphones to watch it.
And the weird thing was, like, we've all seen it before and we've seen it over and over again. And there's jokes that you see them coming because you know exactly. We remember. I just remember so many jokes from that.
Yeah.
They're absolute classics.
I think my favorite moment is when Lisa does an evil laugh and Mojo, the helper monkey, scurries in behind her, climbs to the top of the bookshelf behind her and mimics her evil laugh and spooks her. Very good stuff. Welcome to Favorite Moments. So it's episode 21, and that's the other thing. Isn't it wild how long the seasons are?
Yeah.
Talk about quality, having to keep quality up for that long.
That's episode 21 of 30 in this season.
Right.
30 in a season.
Wow.
It's the first episode that was written by Larry Doyle, who went on to write a further 6 episodes, including Treehouse of Horror 9, which includes a few classic Treehouse stories, including Hell to Pay, where Homer gets
the toupee.
hair transplant
Snake.
from Snake, who's
Yes.
the career criminal on The Simpsons. He
Yep.
gets executed and his hair takes over Homer's body and takes out revenge on people who'd slighted a snake during his life.
This is before The Simpsons got silly.
Yes. I mean, the Treehouse of Horrors
Yeah,
are
they've
always,
always
that was
they're
the
always
fun
very
thing
good.
about them. It was like their chance to get real silly. But
What a great idea.
just
Treehouse
having
of Horrors.
that outlet, so good. Just a few mini stories. The writer Doyle also wrote episodes of Beavis and Butthead, Rugrats, and Daria.
Oh, classic 90s stuff.
He wrote a lot of different cartoons. The episode was directed by Mark Kirkland.
He also wrote Duplex.
Duplex. He did write Duplex, and he also wrote Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
What was it? I was going to say Back in the Habit, but it's something. It's the one, and it's one that will be featured on a spin-off podcast of this, Phrasing the Bar, because Brendan Fraser stars in it. What is it called?
All right.
Looney Tunes Back
in Action.
in Action.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Which actually started out its life as Space Jam 2. And it slowly,
Is that true?
Yeah, slowly morphed behind the scenes into
Wow.
Looney Tunes Back in Action. Mark Kirkland, the director, he also he's directed the most Simpsons episodes out of everyone.
He's a good director. We were talking about that shot where the camera was on the ground with donuts in the foreground and Homer comes. It's good direction.
It was a beautiful shot. It's funny how Homer approached the camera basically.
Yeah.
Loved it. Loved that. But he directed so many classic episodes, including Dance and Homer, Camp Krusty, and Lisa the Vegetarian.
Oh, Camp Cross is one of my all-time favorites.
They're genuine great episodes. So the one storyline's about Lisa and Bart hosting this news show with these kind of spot-on parodies of the sappy news puff pieces. So real that I'm like I've seen those stories.
Yeah.
Almost word for word in Australia in real life.
Because Bart is trying to imitate Kent Brockman, the adult reporter, and he shows him an example of like a nothing story on a merry-go-round that's closing down, just going for the sappy, sad approach. And you're right, it is so spot on.
Yeah, it was very recognizable. So that's on the one hand. The main storyline's about. It starts with Bart ruining groundskeeper Willie's
Shack.
Yeah.
with creamed corn. And there's a little reference that Skinner tastes it like it's cocaine. It's pure. And Bart pumps it in, explodes the shack. So Willie wants revenge, and that all comes back around in the end. But the subplot is all about Mojo, the helper monkey.
Yes. This 90-minute podcast is about the subplot in this 20-minute episode of The Simpsons.
What did it mean?
We're going to dive deep.
So there's actually 2 monkeys featured in this episode. The first one is Apu's helper monkey. So Apu is the Quickie Mart owner and attendee, and he's wheelchair bound, and his shop's being run by a helper monkey, which is how Homer finds out about helper monkeys.
That's because he's been shot.
Yeah, pretty fair reason and needs some help. Homer wants to get one though because he's lazy, and that's what he tells the guy in the shop. He says,
Classic Homer.
They don't give him one, so he goes and gets his dad.
An elderly man.
Because he's feeble. Oh, I know a guy. And then they get Mojo, right? And he steals Mojo from Grandpa, who was shattered because he was going to eat him.
I'd like a monkey, please. And maybe one of those dogs. What do they do?
They serve as seeing eyes for the blind, sir.
Do they do any other tricks?
No.
Just the monkey, then.
May I inquire as to how you are differently abled?
Oh, I'm not handicapped. I'm just lazy.
Sir, helper monkeys are only for the physically challenged or enfeebled.
Enfeebled? Ooh, I know just the guy. Be right back. Oh, son, this monkey's gonna change my life. Mind if I take him for a ride? Sure, I'll just stand here. I can't wait to eat that monkey.
I can't wait to eat that monkey. That was my favorite line.
So, and then just through, as the episode goes on, a Mojo goes from a super helpful monkey to very Homer-like. He becomes obese. And ends up having to wear a nappy or a diaper. Real fun stuff. There's a website called simpsonswikia.com, and it has a thing. It says its page about Mojo. It goes through his storyline, and then it says pre-Homer condition, 4 dot points, happy, eager, healthy, toilet trained. Post-Homer condition, obese, lazy, diapered, has difficulty breathing. But did you know that the Mojo subplot is actually based on a horror film? Did you know that?
I did not know that until you mentioned it briefly before we recorded this.
I also only know it because I looked it up before we came in, but I can't remember the name of the film. And before that, I'd never had any knowledge of it.
It's probably a movie that we should look at in a future episode. But it's a 1988 American horror film called Monkey Shrines. And it's George A. Romero's first major studio picture.
Oh.
And do you know Romero's work? Evan's
I know him, no, not really. No,
he's a horror guy.
Yeah, I know of him.
Oh, okay. Well, I won't go into it any further.
No, please tell me. I don't know who this man is.
Yeah, he made movies including Night of the Living Dead.
Oh yeah,
Land of the Dead.
Yeah.
Of the Dead. If it has of the Dead in it, that's one of his.
Okay.
Silence of the Dead,
Yep.
because they're famously loud.
So Dawn of the Dead, which is what Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, that's right. Dawn of the Dead, not Evil Dead. Yep.
Spoofing. That's him. So he's all those ones.
Right, and his monkey-based film, what was that called again?
Monkey Shrines.
Monkey Shrine. You definitely need to do it on the show.
Yeah, I think we should. So
Monkey Shrines of the Dead, or just Monkey Shrines?
just Monkey Shrines.
In brackets.
Well, it's a silent of the dead.
Yeah, sure. Redacted of the Dead.
Yeah. That movie was about a helper monkey named Ella who was assigned to help a man named Alan who had recently become a quadriplegic. But then Ella starts, while starting out caring and protective of Alan, she soon begins to channel Alan's underlying rage and takes it out on his loved ones, becoming a killer monkey.
Right.
Killing.
So it's not a super obvious link to The Simpsons.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't think so either. But apparently, they were told to study the film.
Wow.
Yeah. So I found that pretty interesting as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's not any horror element to it.
No, it's just a
basically
helper monkey.
A helper monkey is the only line you could really draw.
Yeah.
And the monkey takes on the traits of Homer, which
Right.
is like taking on the guy's rage, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. Yeah.
And the monkey kills Homer.
Yeah, in a way. It kills itself.
The monkey channels his inner, predisposition to diabetes. That's about it.
Yeah, okay.
Would you take on a helper monkey if you could, Dave?
No, because I don't need one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So you'd refuse?
I mean, if someone got a gun to my head and I'm like, no.
Well, they've got a gun to your head or the monkey's head.
Oh, okay.
So you're the monkey
no.
somehow. Wait.
Oh. What? No, I don't think I need a helper monkey. And,
Yeah,
what would it do for me?
Well, I think it would. I mean, it would take on your base personality traits.
Right? Can it
That's what they
drive?
do.
So it would either take on
can't
your underlying rage,
Yes.
or
Which is always bubbling.
your laziness. If you were
Which is also always bubbling.
what would it take on if it was you? Would it just become fact hungry?
Yeah, it would just be reading an encyclopedia all day long and everyone just yell, nerd, at this monkey.
Do you want to know what they actually do? I actually looked up a company that does helper monkeys.
I mean, so they do exist.
They do exist.
Yeah, right.
Feels like
do.
a lot can go wrong.
Yes.
Especially if you get a primate that is, quite strong.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of smaller spider monkey size things.
Well, so there's a company called Helping Hands in Boston, and they use.
I mean, they should have been called like monkey business or something.
Yeah.
Helping Hands doesn't even imply that there's a monkey.
Yeah.
There's a
surely
subtitle to that. It's
Dawn of the Monkey Dead.
it's Helping Hands Monkey Helpers.
of
So
the dead.
helpers in there twice.
Oh, double help. That's a lot of help.
Yeah.
That's a lot of help.
Too much.
Maybe too much help? Back
for me.
off.
Yeah, well,
I mean, let me do some things
I know.
myself. I'm not helpless.
no, if I'll just fade away if I don't do anything for myself.
Yeah.
So they use capuchin monkeys.
Capuchin.
Do you know the capuchin?
Yeah, we were talking about them today, remember?
Why? When?
We went down for a coffee. You had a cappuccino.
Oh, was that's
Yeah,
that? Right.
and
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
we were trying. We asked. I annoyingly asked the cafe attendant, where, because a cappuccino, what Evan had like chocolate sprinkled on top. I'm like, what in cappuccino means chocolate? I was trying to figure it out, and I'm like, is that Italian for chocolate? And she said, yeah, well, I don't know, whatever. I think maybe she said, go away. And I said, fair enough. I don't know what an annoying question. I'm so sorry.
I thought you were genuinely going to tell me that you asked the waiter, what's your favourite primate? That's all you talk
That's
about?
all I talk about now. But and then I looked it up, and cappuccino, it comes from Capuchin monks who wore brown habits. So it's the color. The color of the cappuccino is why they're called cappuccinos,
Right.
named after Capuchin monks.
And are the Capuchin monks, do they lend their name to the monkey or do the monkey lend their name to the monk?
That's a good question. I assume the monks studied the Capuchin monkeys.
Or is it just the shade of the brown?
I reckon maybe.
Because I'm looking at a capuchin, it does, I suppose you could say that it looks like a monk style robe.
That does look like a monk style robe. You keep talking about something to Evan.
So
and I'll find
capuchins
that
here,
out.
it says in the wild they live 15 to 25 years. So, you get they'd help you for quite a long time. So what's the idea, Evan, that they help people that have been in car accidents and things?
Yeah. So there's a list of eligibility requirements. There's 10 of them.
Is feeble one of them, like on The Simpsons?
You have to be responsible and mature. You need to be able to communicate verbally.
Well, Homer's none of these things. Oh,
No.
he can verbally.
Yeah, but
communicate.
his dad
Yeah.
was the one.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. No young children living in the home because monkeys and stuff, they have to be 12 or older if you've got kids.
What's in monkeys and stuff? What does that mean, Evan?
Well, monkeys and kids, monkeys don't.
They
the
start
kids
gangs.
don't respect
if
the
monkeys and-
hierarchy.
Well, I mean, where does the monkey come in the hierarchy? Are they second in charge?
I'm not sure. I didn't
Two, I
read into
see.
the hierarchy thing. Is a whole thing that I didn't get into.
I mean, like if you have a monkey and then like your sister comes around, like does she have to bow to the monkey or something? Is that the hierarchy? Hello, monkey king.
Possibly. What else? There's some boring things.
I doubt it.
All right. You are at least 1 year post-injury or post-diagnosis.
Post injury.
You can identify a reliable person to assist you in your monkey's care, which seems a little bit backwards. The monkey's supposed to be caring for you.
Oh, no.
So if you don't have anyone who can help you,
You need to get a helper person to look
Right.
after your helper
geez, it
monkey.
sounds like a real process.
It is a process.
You need a monkey trainer.
Yeah.
Well, no, they train the monkeys
Okay.
for you.
Wow.
I mean, that's very generous of them.
That's why
Imagine
the
they just
second help.
send in a wild monkey into, someone who can't care for themselves home. It just starts running wild and you're just going, well, I can't stop him.
And they're like, where does this monkey sit in the hierarchy? Sure,
one.
it's a good kisser.
Top dog.
You need to spend most of your time at home because the monkeys live in your home and they can't go outside. They can't help you elsewhere,
Right.
like at the Quickie Mart
Right.
Okay.
They can't help.
I
in those
hate
sorts of
when
situations.
cartoons aren't truthful.
You need to be motivated and committed.
No,
No? Okay.
that's not Homer.
You need a
Is that
sense of
Grandpa?
humor. You need a sense of humor to have a helpful
Is that
monkey.
true?
That's true.
Imagine that. You tick every box. You're in dire need of a helper monkey, but you're just a bit too serious.
And the final thing, they're like, all right, I have a knock-knock joke for you.
Okay. Let's have it. Let's see. I don't normally go for knock jokes, but let's see
Knock, knock.
who's there.
Boo.
Boo hoo.
No need to cry. It's only a joke, and you just failed.
Oh no.
no.
I'm sorry.
No need to cry. Sir, please stop crying.
Boo hoo.
Stop.
Boo hoo. I can't. You've upset me with your bad joke.
What we were going to talk about, the reason I brought this up though.
Do either of you know a good knock-knock joke off the top of your head? I really struggle
No.
to think of any then.
I know Alistair Tremblay Birch's got a good knock joke, but I'm not going to try and retell it.
All right.
Just go out and see him and ask him yourself.
Can I answer this question for you about the hierarchy?
Yes, please.
I'm just reading from their FAQ, right? In general terms, hierarchy reflects how each monkey ranks individuals in terms of what role or purpose they have in his or her daily life. A monkey will typically place the recipient, that's you,
The person it's caring for?
the person it's caring for,
Right.
then a primary caregiver at the top of the hierarchy, and assign an appropriate rank to other family members, caregivers, friends, visitors, and even household pets.
Right.
The monkey will also perceive herself, as having a particular rank within the hierarchy, with some people above him, her, and others below. So it's a hierarchy. It's just a ranking system. I don't know exactly.
The
how-
monkey determines. So, like, the Labrador is number 2, and
Yeah.
then, like, your wife is 5.
Well, it seems
Like,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, the monkey assigns a rank to people.
That sounds fun. How nerve-wracking would that be leading up to that moment?
And, like, can you suck up to the monkey and, like, it's like, you're number 2 now. Congratulations.
Be more like,
Greg's dropped a 4.
It's actually quite fascinating. It's important to understand that hierarchy is natural and not something that can be eliminated through training. We, as human caretakers, must respect the monkey's hierarchy.
They're like a divine being.
And change our own actions and interpretations accordingly.
It's like they're a god.
this does sound like a horror movie. What a nightmare.
Anyway.
And there's nothing you can do. So
All of a sudden he's wearing your clothes. He's like, I'm the you rank now.
yeah, it's suddenly it's sleeping in your bed. You're out on the couch. So
no.
you're like, you're only foot to foot tall.
It changes everything around. It's like, all right, now the dog's your wife. The cat's your boss. And your daughter is my dentist. It's a real confusing ranking system, but somehow it just works.
It works. It can't be untrained.
No. Your daughter is the dentist for the monkey. I'm
Don't
sorry.
worry, I only live 15 to 25 years. And then we'll start again.
So Capuchin, the monkeys, as well as Capuchinos, they both come from the Capuchin monks.
So they're named
Monks.
after the monks.
Monks and monkeys. So much going on here.
I should point out. Sorry, the reason I went into this is we're asking what tasks do the monkeys help with,
Yeah.
right? So here are some examples: turning pages,
Okay.
scratching itches.
That would be...
How do you indicate? Say you have no movement. Do you
can
just look?
talk. You can talk to them. You
Scratch
need to have
me.
some level of movement,
Oh right.
mobility, in order to be eligible. I skipped
That's...
that one,
I mean,
sorry.
they're amazing things. Like, scratching an itch would be so good. And turning pages, they're those little things that...
Yeah, I'd put the scratching itch at the top of my list.
Yes.
Yeah. Retrieving dropped objects, turning on computers, that sort of thing.
But
Yeah,
like,
right.
does it make an omelette?
I don't think they can cook.
Okay.
Okay. On avclub.com, they talked a little bit about this episode, saying special credit needs to be given to the animators.
Oh.
And they actually brought back a particular animator named Eric Stefani, Gwen Stefani's brother, and
Really?
also co-founder of No Doubt.
What?
He was in the band for the first 3 albums.
And he's an animator on The Simpsons.
Yes, they brought him back. Apparently, he was the one who was going to really make the monkeys' movements believable.
Wow.
He co-wrote "Don't Speak," their big hit.
Wow. What a You should do a do go on about him. He sounds like he's got a good story.
He does sound like a
Cool guy.
I'm putting that in the hat.
So he came back especially to get Mojo's movements right. And they say here on AV Club, as ridiculous as much of Mojo's antics are, and by antics I do mean horrible things Homer makes Mojo do, he never comes across like a cartoon monkey. And that sense of realism is part of what sells the general silly fun of that part of the episode.
Well, I guess they're not wrong.
interesting.
I mean,
It
it looked pretty accurate to me,
It looked like a real monkey.
but it didn't look like a capuchin.
No, because it probably wasn't
Right.
in a lot of ways.
So in that way, it's not as accurate.
Yeah, I don't know if they went with any specific monkey. They go on to say Girly Edition is a solid episode, and it's really hard to argue too hard with the charms of an episode that gives us both Mojo and old Joe and his ducks, which is Bart's people segment,
Yes.
where he goes down to the local pond and he talks about Joe and how he's still feeding the ducks, but they're not there anymore.
They may be in Canada. Some say in Canada. Some say Toronto.
Others say Joe used to sit over there with those ducks. But yeah, they think it's a really good episode, but particularly like the Mojo subplot, and I think that's probably what a lot of people remember this episode for. They say, but there's still plenty of room for solid laughs and satire, even when an episode falls short of greatness, and that's where Girly Edition comfortably resides.
Gee, that's harsh.
Short of greatness. But I mean, they do set a high standard on The Simpsons.
I thought it was great. I wrote great when I wrote down when I was writing about the episode.
Did you just cross that out?
No, I crossed it out earlier.
Oh, okay.
Underlining the crossed out.
It seems like you
Scribbly
agree with
mess.
them then.
Yeah.
It was great, and then it fell short, so you crossed it out.
You crossed
No,
it out, and then you
well,
underlined.
I crossed
that
it
it's
out because we
crossed out.
already talked about that it was a good episode.
Oh right.
So I crossed that out.
You're like done.
Done. Tick.
What other notes you got there?
I've got some notes here because I was researching the Helping Hands thing, so I had some notes about that. I went through their audited financials for the 16-17 fiscal year. They have 11 full-time staff.
Yeah, I wonder if it's the kind of thing where I could be told whether it's a good or bad thing, and I would. I feel like it's the kind of thing I don't know enough about to know. Is this good for the monkeys for starters? It feels like maybe it's a bit iffy.
I think it seems like they like having, like in a hierarchy, they like having a person above them. Like, apparently they're quite suited to being service animals.
I would argue that even more than that, they'd love to just be hanging out with their own fellow monkeys.
And then having a hierarchy with them.
Yeah.
But then they have no purpose.
I mean,
I
what's
mean,
the
as
meaning
much
of
as we
life?
don't have a purpose, which we certainly do not have.
As evidenced by what we're doing right now.
Sitting in a darkened room in the middle of the night talking about a 20-year-old episode of The Simpsons.
But this organization has about 50 monkeys in rotation.
In rotation?
Well, yeah, I mean, they would assign a monkey to somebody while they need it, and then if they don't need it anymore, they'd, take it off and give it to someone else.
Right.
Right. And
Jeez,
is
you're
there
just
any...
getting shunted around these monkeys.
Well, I mean,
You're in a hierarchy now. Get used to it. That girl's your dentist, and then the next day, a new family. Someone else is looking
your
after their
dentist.
teeth.
I don't know, I mean,
What's-
are they carrying over your dental records, or what's going
Yeah,
on?
exactly.
Why are you talking about dental?
Matt made the person they carry for's sister.
I didn't
The
make him
dentist.
that. The monkey did.
The monkey's dentist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it assigns a hierarchy.
Evan does not understand
Right.
hierarchy at all.
I'm the school teacher.
Where does the dentist sit on the hierarchy?
Well, between the
Between tram driver
Tram
and
driver and
principal.
principal, Skinner.
Yeah.
Mate,
Okay.
it's a standard hierarchy.
Evan, do
'Cause
we
you-
need to get the chart out again?
Ugh.
Because I pay the dentist,
Yeah,
but I also do what he says.
exactly.
Okay.
So you floss every
Except
day.
he's... No. Well, he didn't tell me to do that. And if
What
he
kind of
had, I would
dentist are you going?
He said I should have my wisdom teeth out. And I said, sure, I'll do that. I said I would do it, but then I didn't.
Right, sounds
You're
like
not-
you're
Jess is having it.
Sounds a bit like you're anti-dentite.
No.
Sounds a bit like you're above
No,
the
he's a good
dentist in your
guy.
own mind in the hierarchy.
So you think you're above dentists?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. There's no way in the world you are above dentists.
I actually... my dentist... I go to the dentist that lives just below me. So
So you are actually above them.
so I am physically above them.
and you don't,
All right.
you don't let him forget that.
All right.
In the morning, you knock on his door. Hey, Shramani, I'm still above you.
Yeah. Now,
Call out from the balcony.
What do you make him do? Do you use that power for good?
I make him dance. No, I make him look after my teeth.
What did you think when that was basically the end of Mojo and Homer's relationship? Was Mojo and Homer like chocolated out of their heads, beers and everything all around them,
Guts exploding from their open pants
and Marge comes in and says, this is no good.
because Mojo can barely breathe. Well, he used to dance. Now he just struggles to breathe.
And Homer says, no, he's fine. Do your happy dance, Mojo. And he struggles to do his happy dance.
Yeah.
It sounds like exactly what you and Homer have got a lot in common, making your dentist / monkeys dance on command.
Yes.
Yes.
Is there any, on the website, Evan, just to wrap that up, is there any indication of price?
Yes, it doesn't cost anything.
Oh, wow, that's
That
quite
is
a good deal.
value.
It
That
is
really good value.
it's a charitable service. They're supported by donations. So it costs to train a monkey costs about $40,000 US. So that's the cost of the monkey essentially to the organization.
Are there any celebrity donors? Is like something Ted Danson would be involved with?
David Schwimmer.
Yeah, Sean knows probably.
I looked through the list. The only one I saw was Louise and Michael Wilmot. And I know there's an American comedian named Mike Wilmot, or Canadian comedian, I think, named Mike Wilmot. Probably not the same guy. No, I maybe, I don't know.
Louise
There
and
are some
Michael
anonymous ones.
Are you interested in getting on board, Matt?
Yeah,
Being like their celebrity, like endorser?
Yeah, I'm willing to chip in.
You could
Time.
donate an amount of money, say $250 US.
There's no way I could do that.
You
Where
could
am I
do
getting that from?
And then you would be listed in their annual report on their website for 2018.
I get to be in a report?
You got to do
Yeah,
that.
an annual report.
I think you should link to this website. And at least...
Yeah. There's someone out there who would be willing to do this. I'd like to double check if anyone knows about animal rights. Let me know if this is a good or bad thing.
It's hard to say because, you look at a seeing eye dog and I tend to think that that's a great thing.
Yes. Yeah, it feels like that's what
But
I mean.
I know, but then the more you think about the monkey, is it happy? I'm with you.
It's a tricky one.
What about a seeing eye monkey?
Oh.
Yes.
Would you feel good about that?
You also say it's free, but so is a monkey paw, right? And we know that ends up being cursed.
Yes.
So is it like that? Getting a monkey paw is cursed. What about getting a whole monkey?
Even more cursed.
I'm assuming more. That's 2 paws plus the torso, head, tail, and legs,
if you're lucky,
and the forearms and upper arms. Also, you're getting the toes and all the gizzards and the insides. So, I mean, imagine how much curse gizzards would hold. Do monkeys have gizzards? Evan, you're the scientist on the show.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So many.
And they're cursed?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, I mean, that feels like, in some ways, it's like a sort of like a poison chalice in some ways.
I reckon next we have to do the Simpsons episode where there's the monkeys, the
monkey
cursed
paw.
monkey paw.
I'm assuming that was a Treehouse of Horror episode.
And every step we'll get further away from actually talking
that
about
was.
monkeys.
the frogate is also cursed. That's bad.
But it's delicious. That's good. Classic episode.
The monkeys are free. However,
Well, they're not. The monkeys are not free. They've been enslaved by you and your company that you're pushing here.
And you also have to pay for their shampoo and any other vitamins and
Vitamins
their food.
You started with shampoo?
Yeah, I
Surely
thought
food's number one. Or are you doing a countdown?
it's
From the least to the most
number
important.
3.
And number 1, you have to pay for the monkey. I forgot to mention that.
Evan, as a scientist, is very influenced by David Letterman. He
I list everything in reverse order.
talking of lists,
Oh yeah.
Complex.com counted down their top 25 minor Simpsons characters in 2014, picking from the first 552 episodes. Because at that stage, they were running a massive marathon, playing every episode to that point in a row, which obviously at that time was the longest ever Simpsons marathon. The list included Frank Grimes.
Oh, grimy.
He was at
real
number 23. So I was expecting him to be pretty high up.
If you rewatch that episode, that is so brutal.
Yeah,
It
it's
is. It really
Dies
is.
at the end, and Homer falls asleep at his funeral and is like talking in his sleep, and everyone's just laughing as the coffin is lowered.
Yeah, it's and it never really comes back, does it? On Homer, I mean.
No, because usually they,
Usually
at least,
someone gets their comeuppance in a story like
there's
that.
a bit of a lesson. But
I
that
think
one,
that's kind of like that's the joke, right?
Yeah.
Is that it's
but it's brutal.
Is
It's
that life
brutal.
sucks.
Yeah.
Right. And then
life
you
sucks
die.
and then you die.
Yeah, you live in a palace. I live above a bowling alley and below another bowling alley. Why would they build apartments in the middle?
Like that's confusing as well for ranking. Like where does he sit compared to a bowling
Oh,
alley in
no.
terms of ranking?
Bowling alley is above and below him, Evan.
He's in a sandwich.
Your theory's gone.
Yeah. Mr.
Well,
Bergstrom.
obviously, one bowling alley is better than the other one.
Oh,
He
okay.
sits in the middle.
So he's not quite as good as one bowling alley,
But he's better than
slightly
the
better
other.
than the other.
Yeah.
Mr. Bergstrom's 25, rounding out the top 25. But
Who was that?
Mr. Bergstrom, remember he was played by Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin Hoffman.
Is he
yeah.
Lisa's teacher?
Lisa's teacher,
Yeah,
yeah.
right, yeah.
He said, left her with a note.
Yes.
You are Lisa Simpson or something like
Yeah.
that. No, I am, whatever. Homer's mum's number 25. I probably won't go
yeah.
through them all.
Muddy Mace Huggins.
Gil?
Gil.
They're calling Gil a minor character.
Gil's 22, yeah. So pretty much everyone outside the immediate family, I think.
Right.
So you'd have the major, maybe.
I mean,
Maybe
like, would
12.
Chief Wiggum be a major
He's
character?
probably, maybe he's major. So it's sort of, it's sub Wiggum.
Well, the number one is, for me, Lionel Hutz.
Lionel Hutz
Is he on
did
the
not
list?
make their.
Okay, Troy McClure.
Whoa.
Troy McClure didn't either. So
Maybe they're
Wow.
not being counted because they are probably my two favorite characters. And then probably
so
Principal
good.
Skinner and then Chief Wiggum for me.
yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. None of them are in. Disco Stu's in there. Duffman, Raina Wolfcastle,
Oh, yeah.
the Captain, Sherry Bobbins. They've got in there.
Oh, wow.
Dr. Nick.
Dr. Nick is
See, they're
great.
mixing because some of these, like
Oh,
Mojo,
like
are like one episode.
super-
Yeah,
Super minor.
like a guest appearance, really.
Yeah. Sherry Bobbins was one.
Super
Frank
minor.
Grimes, I think.
One, and then his
one,
son
and then
came
his son
back.
comes back. Yeah.
Kirk Van Houten.
Oh,
He's minor?
Yeah. So he's quite a bit. Like he's very much a recurring character. At number 14, debuting in this episode, they rated the Crazy Cat Lady.
Oh.
Was this her debut?
This was her debut, yeah.
Wow.
So she became a recurring character from there.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so that
didn't
was the
know that.
reason why she was brought into existence for that story, where
That's
she
fantastic.
was. So the idea, if you haven't seen it, is that Lisa starts trying to. She sort of goes for the if you can't beat them, join them. So she takes
She goes
on
to do her
part of his own
human
game,
interest story.
the sappy story, and she tries to do the sappy story about the cat lady. They call her crazy just because she lives with many cats.
And just yells, "Rah, rah, rah."
Then spends the rest of the episode chasing Lisa and throwing cats at her. Arnie Pye's in there. Cletus, Bumblebee Man, Hans Molman cracks the top 10. Snake. Is Snake's surname Jailbird? Number 9. Itchy and Scratchy, number 8. They're big.
I mean, they're in, I would say, probably 100 episodes.
Yeah, at least.
but going down to number 1.
Oh, I thought you said Bart. I'm like, all right, this is really stretching it for a minor character.
Number 1 is Mojo the Helper Monkey.
Number one?
Number 1.
Really?
Yeah.
What? Why?
The only ever episode he appeared in was this episode. Voice actor. Do you know who was the voice actor?
No.
No, it's
one of the
Hank Azaria.
No, but it is one of the key.
Dan Castellaneta.
It is Dan Castellaneta, the voice of
Thank you.
Homer,
That's awesome.
and it has key quote: "Pray for Mojo," which is how I guess is the only quote they could quote from it.
Really, the number one guest.
Minor character,
Minor
yeah.
character.
I mean, this is off one website, so it is
Above
definitely fact, and it cannot be argued. And this is the blurb they wrote about Mojo. All of this is a little bit questionable potentially. It says the animals in The Simpsons are the highlight of any episode. I would argue that is not necessarily the case.
Yeah, I mean, who else are we talking? Santa's
Santa's
Little
Little
Helper.
yeah. The
Anyone?
cat Snowball.
Snowball 2. Who cares?
Yeah. That time the white leopards, the white lions are on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're really clutching at straws here.
That time when the Daredevil jumped over the tank with a shark and a lion in it, which we talk about all the time.
Electric Eels.
Lance
Lance Murdoch.
Murdoch. That's classic.
Is he on the top 25?
He's not, no.
He's okay, folks.
But-
if he's not in action, he's in traction.
Dude, number 3 is the yes guy. Yes.
Oh, really? So who's number 2 then?
Number 2, I think you will struggle to remember. She's from series 1, Miss Bots, the scary babysitter who kidnapped
Oh, yeah,
them.
yeah. I remember her.
Great character, but yeah, that goes way
How
back.
is that? Come on. This list
Yeah,
is
it's a weird
categorically
list.
bad.
Number 4 is number 1.
What?
Rank number 4 is number 1.
Oh, right,
from the Stonecutters.
From the, yeah.
The leader of the...
Played
yeah.
by Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart.
Is that a Sean Connery? Or?
No, that's my Patrick Stewart. Oh, Patrick Stewart. So there's do you guys remember the show Martin Malloy? Tony Martin and Mick Malloy used to do a radio show.
Yeah.
No.
And they released albums. And there was a sketch on one of the albums that was Patrick Stewart going to a drive-through. and my friend at school used to repeat it all the time. So I've got it so it's Patrick Stewart via Tony Martin via my friend Andrew Hansen. Adam Hansen. Bloody hell, Andrew Hansen's from The Chaser.
You know.
And Hansen used to, hi, I'm Patrick Stewart. And they said, yeah, what'll it be, sir? I was like, I will have a fillet o' fish and a side of fries. Okay, sir, move on to the next window. The next window, a new portal into another dimension. Very funny stuff.
Oh, now I'm going to start quoting that.
Yeah, we just keep passing it on.
Patrick
so
Stewart.
the impersonation gets worse.
Tony Martin, Adam Hansen, Matt Stewart, Dave Warneke. Who's next?
What are these slithers of potato extract? Very good stuff. Anyway, so the blurb about on complex.com says the animals in The Simpsons are the highlight of any episode, and Mojo stands above them all. Homer, in a stalwart effort to be more lazy, procured Mojo as a helper monkey for Grandpa, only to take Mojo for himself. We know all this, Matt. Why are you retelling it? Mojo almost died under Homer's care. He became obese and incontinent. That's where he had to.
I mean, this is their number one character.
Yeah.
And he gasped for breath. It feels like it's been put together by a helper monkey. I don't reckon they got a helper monkey in, and they're like, my favorite character is.
Yeah. Just make the article. We don't care who it is.
Yeah, that's the number one. It's interesting. I do. Mojo is very funny, but of all Gil, surely Gil's better than
sure.
Mojo.
So good.
Surely Mole Man is better than that.
Yeah, even for just multiple episodes and multiple great moments, but. Hey, Mojo, great primate, great character. And, I don't want to take anything away from Mojo.
Okay.
Who am I to say? Mojo took out the win, and now I sound like a...
You're supposed to be a fan of monkeys.
I am a fan of monkeys.
Okay.
But he's a fan of old Gil.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of old
Well, I
Gil.
suppose Gil is a primate.
He's a primate. Oh, Gil.
It adds an extra layer of appreciation knowing that Dan Castellaneta was playing both roles in those scenes, just playing off himself.
Yeah. Imagine being in the room and seeing him, shriek and then groan as Homer and shriek as Mojo. Would have been real beautiful. I wish there was footage of that somewhere.
I want to talk about one of the characters who I think is not one of the best minor characters. And that is Lindsay Naegle. Do you know who that is?
Lindsay Naegle, is that?
Yes.
That is, I'll show you the photo. She is in the episode. She's
She's the executive?
the executive
Yes.
lady.
Yes.
So from this episode, this is only a second appearance.
Right.
And the first one was the Itchy and Scratchy and Poochie show where Homer voices Poochie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that these two episodes are probably her only two good ones.
Poochie also voiced by Dan Castellaneta.
Right.
I mean, it is Homer just doing a bit of a rah, rah, rah kind of voice.
Anyway. Sorry.
But I did know, as the show goes on, she becomes more and more frequent, and the
Yeah.
quality of the
Yeah.
show drops off. And I would like to pin it on this character.
Right.
I think she ruined The Simpsons.
They use
a good
her.
theory.
They do use her a lot going forward.
Yeah, going forward, she's always there like, we need to shake things up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then, she uses some of those funny buzzwords, which in this one, Zork is hilarious.
Yeah, it is
But
good.
I find it is,
Zork. What does that mean? I didn't say Zork.
But yeah, I don't
that's
know. I
interesting.
never thought about it before until this episode, and I thought, I wonder.
She does seem like a really modern Simpsons character.
Yeah, like
But
totally.
she was very funny in this episode.
Yeah, it's just so, and I think she was pretty good in the Itchy and Scratchy one, but from there on, I don't think there's another good appearance by
Wow.
this character. Voiced by Tress McNeil, who also voices Agnes Skinner,
Yeah, she does a lot.
and she's been in every episode of the show since 1999, which really shows
Right.
how she's, that she basically became one of the recurring cast.
Yes, but not. And I'd say it's not her fault.
No,
but
I'm not blaming it
she's
on her, but just the character's
the
just a bit, like,
what they're getting her to do.
yeah.
That is interesting. Yeah, I found it interesting as well watching this. As a kid, I'd just be lost with the voices, but now I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, Kent Brockman is quite obviously the same voice as Skinner.
Yeah.
Like they're only very slightly different, but as a kid, I just totally took it all in and thought they were all very distinctive voices. But it's clearly Harry Shearer going a little bit higher or a little bit lower.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think about Lisa in this episode? It was pretty much a Lisa episode. I guess it was kind of a Lisa and Bart episode, but she was pretty annoyed by Bart swooping and sort of taking her territory, taking the things she'd worked hard for, getting this news show by being a
Yeah.
good student.
She always gets the crap end of the stick.
Yes, but how did you feel about Lisa in this? Did you feel like she was normal Lisa, or did you think she was inconsistent or anything like that?
Oh, I didn't think of anything, but now it sounds like you're testing me.
No, I'm not testing necessarily. I just found this interesting. I found a guy who reviewed it, and he was furious. His name was Matt Rose on SimpsonsArchives.com. I saw this quoted in a couple of places. That's what he said. He said, while there were a few things in the episode which were quite funny, all of it is lost for me in the absolutely inexcusable behavior of Lisa.
What?
This was like watching PTA disbands all over again. I've always had a soft spot for Lisa Simpson, and to see this episode was very disheartening. This wasn't Lisa Simpson. This was someone who acted cold-hearted, egotistic, and downright selfish. Whoever wrote this episode needs a serious slap in the face. I don't think anyone should be allowed to write for The Simpsons unless they know how the characters are supposed to act. This was horrible, and it totally ruined what I thought was an otherwise decent episode. Grade C-.
Matt Rose, you're a fucking idiot.
But I'd see that. Like, it is a bit uncharacteristic. I mean,
What are you talking about? The one where she competes with Allison for first chair and saxophone.
It feels like classic Lisa.
Yeah, she tries to ruin her science fair project. And the PTA disbands, Matt, is a great episode. I'm pointing at the computer where Matt Stewart was reading Matt. Yeah. Purple Monkey
which
Dishwasher.
Matt were you talking? You were talking.
Matt Rose, the worst
okay.
Matt in the world. Is he a writer or anything? He's just a guy on a
No,
blog.
he's just a
So he
fan.
thinks he can write a better episode.
Yeah, he was. Well, I think he's obviously a huge Simpsons fan, but he does not like this take on Lisa. But I thought this was classic Lisa.
Yeah, so what she
think
did
so.
was...
If she is very kind-hearted, but if anything, and anything sort of tramples on her territory, or she feels sort of jealous in any way, the worst of her comes out.
Yeah, what about the before mentioned episode, Lisa the Vegetarian,
Yes.
where they have the pig at the barbecue, and then she's like, no, this is wrong, and ruins the barbecue. She does stuff like this all the time, and then she always feels bad, like she did in this episode,
Yeah, and
apologizes, and that's the end of the episode.
Yeah. That's
Matt
like-
Rose, are you even a fan? Have you even watched the show? Matt Rose, I'm giving you a D-, D for dickhead.
Oh, jeez, Louise. I'm so sorry, Matt. Obviously, Dave, by the end of this episode, he'll come around. He'll realize
Yeah,
he's
that's
been
right.
a bit harsh
Very
there.
uncharacteristic of me. I'm usually quite nice, but I'm just showing you that everyone has a bit of darkness inside them, Matt.
He said, so he went on to say he would have given it a B+ if it was not for Lisa's grossly blatant mischaracterization. He said, the worst thing about this episode is it will fuel even more kill Lisa posts. whatever that means. But apparently, in the dark web, there's campaigns to kill Lisa.
People don't like Lisa.
And as much then he says, so it'll add fuel to the kill Lisa post. And he says, as much as I like Lisa, I have to say, if Lisa was like this all the time, I think I would agree with them.
Okay. And so who quoted him?
It's on this website. It's a blog. So it's simpsonsarchives.com.
/ top 10 clueless fans.
Now, look, I think everyone deserves their right to have an opinion.
Do
And
people
also,
not like
everyone
Lisa?
deserves their right for Dave Warneke to call him a douchebag.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how Anna Gunn in Breaking Bad, people just hated her so much, even though she's like the good person on the show,
Right.
But she's just, as a viewer, you're siding with what's the guy's name? You know the guy's name.
Walter White.
Yeah, Walter White.
I was talking about Walt Disney.
Right. And she's getting in his way a lot of the time and being annoying to him, because he's trying to break the law and get himself killed. So as a viewer, you're like,
Yeah.
Skylar, get out of here.
Get out of here.
Even though she's playing a very a good character, a good mother and a good wife, and she copped a lot of shit online for that.
I think, and often those things that'll be written for that purpose, right? It'll be like there's got to be some. I can't just be like, all right, now there's this Walt character, and everything goes smoothly.
Yeah.
Nothing stands in his way.
And like this episode, Bart's People is just going to be a hit show forever. I really liked how it came around in the one of the first things, which was Bart destroying Willie's house.
Yeah.
Came back at the end.
Yeah, well, maybe you want to quickly explain that?
So at the start of the episode, we talked about how Bart blew up Willie's shack with creamed corn. And then at the end of the episode, Lisa fakes a fake letter from someone wanting to be one of Bart's people, saying that their house has been destroyed. Now they have to live in the rubbish dump. And Bart's like, this is too good. I've got to do a live episode on this. And when he gets there, of course, the person who doesn't have a home and has to live in the dump is Willie, who Bart put there.
Yes.
And then Willie's, attempts to kill Bart, and Lisa has to save him. And that's when old Lisa comes forward, realizes she's done the wrong thing, apologizes, saves the day. In true Lisa fashion, Matt.
Classic Lisa.
Yeah. And her quick thinking of saying, you can't kill him. He's your son. Very, very good. So as an episode, I think we all agree it's quite a good one. Maybe not the best ever, but I looked up Rolling Stone around the same time as that Top 25 did that we talked about before in 2014. They did a top 150 episodes ever, and it did not make the top 150.
I don't think it would make my top 150 either.
Yeah, so it's like it's I'd say top half somewhere.
Top 250.
Yeah, top 250 out of what is now probably 700 episodes or something.
Yeah.
No, not quite, but something like that. So we normally say at the end of our episodes, how much of yourself do you see in the primate character? So chimpanzees, apparently humans share about 99, 98, 97% DNA with chimpanzees. How much of you do you see in Mojo?
In Mojo.
Yes.
Well,
I mean, you can choose between Mojo or Apu's helper monkey who's seen for about 8 seconds at the start of the episode.
Is very capable.
I do love helping people.
Yeah.
I am a good person.
How good are you at operating a till?
Oh, terrible. No good. But I also do like eating chocolate and donuts.
Yeah. Jeez, I'd love to have some chocolate and donuts.
I'd say 58%.
58%. That's quite a lot in common. So it's you can't operate a till, not super helpful, but do like junk food.
Yeah, 58%. I mean, a lot of that episode was it eating bad food.
Yeah. Evan, how about you? This one's probably the hardest one so far. There's not a lot to go on, but
I think there is. I feel like I'm like 90%
90% Mojo.
aligned with post-Homer Mojo.
Post-Homer Mojo.
I don't need a diaper, but
Is that the 10%? Everything else is exactly the same. You struggle to breathe. You want people to pray
maybe
for
not
you?
that far. I want people to pray for me. Why not? Do you not want people to pray for you?
No, I'm fine. Thank you.
Okay.
Pray for Mojo. Pray for Evan.
So 90% post-homo. Pre-homo, what percent are we talking?
Super helpful. Got quite a lust for life.
Yeah, look.
Up and about. Mimicking Lisa's evil laugh.
Grew up in a pet shop.
70%.
Right, so 20% raise.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I'd say I see his Mojo's dad as being the man in the shop. So he had a mustache, and so does my dad.
Oh, yes, that's very true.
So we're off and running now. I reckon that's 20% of any person. Is how much.
Where did he land on the minor character?
Did not make the top 25.
Really? That's a surprise.
Guy with mustache from the shop. It's got great mustache. Yeah, it was a very similar drawing, I think, to the guy who ran the museum.
Yeah, but I was just thinking.
Yes, I was thinking of him.
I was just thinking that he should be in the top 25. Your band, you and your children and your children's children for 3 months. I love that character so much.
a great
It's like,
character.
I guess I have chest A arthritis. You have arthritis? He just doesn't get Lisa's pun. I love that so much.
Oh.
Yeah, so I reckon I'm probably about 80, 88% Mojo.
88.
Yeah, I reckon I would have gone very similar. Pre-Homer, I love to make fun of Lisa and her maniacal laugh. I like to sort of scream into a phone unintelligibly.
Yep. Be chased by a broom.
Yeah, be chased by a broom. Marge tried to chase around like it was a bug.
Sort of like splat him, swat him.
I'd make orange juice for Marge, and then once getting under Homer's wing, I would become a slob, no doubt. So I reckon about 88%. The only thing I wouldn't do is have a tail. I never would do that.
Right, 12%.
And there is nothing you can do to change that. I'm also not bad luck if I come and help you. I'm not cursed, and I will not address this anymore. I'm sick of having to publicly address the lack of curse that I have. Okay, now can we drop it, please? I'm not cursed. Evan, if you bring it up again, I swear to God.
Sounds like you're cursed to bad publicity.
I swear to God, Evan, I will bring rage down on your family and your ancestors.
Now I'm cursed.
I will bring a locust plague of plague proportions. What? And then the final segment on this show, Primates, is called, of course, everyone knows it, Primates, or something like Primates Sporting Mascot segment.
I love it.
And
if you counted me in, I would have joined in because it rolls off the tongue. 2, 3, 4, Primate, Mascot, Sporting segment.
last week, Dave, you gave us a great non-primate sporting mascot, the mystery fish from the Chiba Lotte,
a Japanese baseball team,
Japanese Marines, which was a skeleton man who jumps out of a fish body, which I took literally probably 25 hours I spent on Adobe Premiere to animate it.
Like half a serious work week on
Honestly,
no.
I can vouch for this.
I'm not even, like, Evan's doing our real work here at the Super Studios. I'm on the computer across, like, in Adobe Fireworks, cutting out a picture of a man in a skeleton suit with a boner. And anyway, that's up on Primate. If you go to youtube.com/primatespod, please like and subscribe.
Yeah, man.
It took so many hours. If I get one view per 10-minute period, which I'm nowhere near. Anyway, it'd be great for you to check it out. I put all these episodes up there. You may even be listening on there right now.
You were
And I'm not cursed.
Dave.
Yeah, you, Dave.
Yeah.
You, or even you.
Well, I am wearing headphones.
My favorite, maybe one of my favorite Simpsons jokes is that pointing down the barrel.
Well, who shot
yeah.
Mr. Burns? Probably in my top 5 favorite episodes
It'd
would
one of
be
the best.
The double.
Who Shot Mr. Burns Part 1 and 2. Mainly because it is an all-star cast and every character appears in it. All the great main players. And I love it.
But not Mojo.
Mojo. I know. Where the hell's Mojo?
No Mojo.
Number 1 minor character.
I don't know. Mojo would have been post Mojo, right? When was that?
No, that's pre-Mojo.
pre-Mojo.
Well, that explains.
That probably explains it in a
obviously.
lot of ways.
Yes.
Next time you come back in to do another Simpsons episode, you got to give us your top 5 ever Simpsons episodes. Okay?
All right, I'll really think about it.
Yeah, great.
I'm cheating a little bit there because I'm making that as 1.
Yeah, I think I'll allow it.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
thanks.
that's okay.
I'll allow it. I'm that kind of judge. One of those ones from the TV. But so that was great. The mystery fish. Evan, you said you might have a cool. You come across a cool sporting mascot.
Yeah, well, we've talked a lot about Boston in this week's episode.
Have we?
Well, we talked a lot about Helping Hands, but the organisation, which is based in
I'm going to
Boston.
say, have we mentioned Boston yet? I mean, Matt, for the listener, Matt hasn't edited this. So, where was the Boston reference?
I mentioned it once about a third of the way through.
It's going to be the Celtics, which has an Irish human person as
Is that
the
what it's gonna
mascot, who Evan loves.
No, well, see, last time I was on the show, my mascot favourite was Trevor.
Yeah,
from
Trevor,
the
Saint Trevor.
the St Kilda Saints.
Is that his name, Trevor?
Yeah,
He's just
Trevor.
a guy.
Named after Trevor Barker, the high-flying sailor with a shock of blonde hair. It's big in the 80s.
He's a man in a man suit.
He's also Trevor's also the St Kilda Best and Fairest Award for the best player of the year. Is
You get the
named
Trevor?
after the Trevor
Wow.
Barker.
So
Oh,
you
it's not
can't.
just called you don't
it's-
get the Trevor medal.
No, you don't get the
That'd be
Trevor.
amazing.
So it's hard to beat Trevor, but this guy's pretty cool. He's Larry the Lobster from the
Oh.
Boston Lobsters.
Okay.
Oh, wait,
and
you're
they're
showing
a
it-
tennis team?
They're a tennis team.
What is that? How is there what?
A team? Well, like, does he represent a pair of doubles players?
Yeah. He's what is he like?
I should say the team doesn't
Djokovic?
exist anymore.
Okay. But Evan's moved back to he's gone back to his tablet. He's just scrolling through photos there. We've lost
No.
him. He's in lobster heaven.
I can't explain how there's a tennis team.
Nah, you can't explain it.
They're a mascot for the Boston Lobsters, which is a professional tennis team.
Right. I didn't
you
know
go.
about professional tennis teams.
They aren't anymore. They fold.
They've gone amateur. Do you have any key facts about Larry the Lobster?
Not at all.
Great. Well, we've talked a lot about Boston, so
It feels like this episode's been a little Boston heavy,
Yeah.
if anything.
sorry to all the Boston haters out there.
Yeah.
Matt Rose.
Can we have a little something for the non-Bostonians out there? I bet Matt Rose is from Boston. He's, I've got no reason to think that. The only reason I got to assume that is because everything in this episode has been Boston. So you can only assume that Matt Rose would also be from Boston. The primates.
Sorry.
Here we go.
I was just going to say, I'm drinking from a gamey game mug, and this style of mug is called the Boston mug.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
I mean, was that whole thing a plug for your mugs?
Is that
Go to gamey game.
that was
No,
a
what?
real long-winded way to get to a mug plug?
Go to
Talk to-
patreon.com/gamey. You can get yourself a mug.
A Boston mug?
It's the Boston
Boston
style.
mug. So that's where the Boston Tea Party would drink from those, I guess.
Yes. They're all Patreon supporters.
Really? Well, there you go. The primate sporting mascot from this week is from, I'm sorry for it to be another Boston-related thing, but this is from Florida, which is only
A few states
only
below.
a few states well on the same coast as Boston. More bloody Boston-centric content from primates. So the team is from the Major League Lacrosse.
They have a
They have
major,
a Major League
and
Lacrosse.
a minor.
I've played lacrosse like once.
We had to play it at primary school. That was
Yeah.
in the rotation of sports.
Pretty.
It's also big in American Pie.
yes.
Stifler plays it as well as Ozstriker.
Is that his name? The guy with the long pushback hair.
Yeah, the one who ends up singing in choir.
Yeah,
just
he goes
to
to
miss
choir. But it's a pretty rough and tumble sport, really, isn't it,
I think
lacrosse?
there actually was a capuchin monkey maybe in American Pie, hanging out with Blink-182.
Oh.
Blink-182 in American Pie.
Oh, Dave, please grow up. What you got to remember about American Pie is it was in a pre-9/11 world.
Yes, by about 2 years.
It was, same with this episode of The Simpsons. It was a more naive time. It was a simpler time. You could have Blink-182 in movies. They wouldn't dare to do it now, but back then, anything went and did go. So anyway, the lacrosse team is called the Florida Launch.
Oh, good.
And it feels like I love this. I think I really love this league because it sounds like they came in when all the team names had been taken by other sports. Do you want me to go through all the major league lacrosse teams? You'll recognise most of the city names, a lot of big cities from America. Atlanta, Blaze. Okay, Blaze is not too bad. Okay, fine.
Because
Sorry about the 7.
Atlanta Braves is a thing.
Ah, right. So yeah, it's a bit of maybe that's
Just a word that sounds kind of similar, I guess.
Yeah, Braves, Blaze. The Boston Cannons. Sorry for more Boston.
Oh, mate, it's all we hear about.
The Charlotte Hounds. But I liked it because I just don't hear them that much. The Chesapeake Bay Hawks. They had to go real specific on what kind of hawks.
Wow.
The Dallas Rattlers. That's the people who shake for charities.
Yep.
That's a cool. Dallas Rattlers sounds cool.
I guess that's rattlesnakes, I'm guessing. Denver Outlaws, kind of cool.
Yeah.
Florida Launch.
What does that mean? What's a launch?
I think it's either like a rocket launch or just like jumping.
All right. Well, they are the home of.
Is
Like,
it a lacrosse thing? Maybe is that like
maybe
a serve?
it could be a lacrosse thing, or maybe when they were starting the franchise. They were like, all right, we're going to do the big Florida launch. We've got to come up with a name, but we'll figure that out later. Hang on a
I
minute.
just printed 10,000 posters that says the big Florida launch, and they're like, I guess that'll do.
I like that it's singular.
Yeah,
It's not like the Rattlers where you got more of them. They're not the launches.
the launches.
I mean,
a bit awkward,
is their
isn't it?
mascot just a big ramp?
No, it's a primate.
Is it? Oh, yeah, right.
It's a monkey ramp.
I remember why we're talking about this.
The final 2 teams, the New York Lizards.
It's all right.
Everyone knows about those famous New York for their lizards.
I mean, they run the world.
To be honest, going through these, they're not as bad as I remembered.
No, they're pretty weird.
And the Ohio Machine.
Machine.
I love that it's
Again,
Ohio.
just one.
But it's obviously pretty big. I mean, it varies a bit, but the Denver Outlaws Stadium holds 76,000.
Wow.
So it's a pretty big time sport. But then down
The stadium for the Boston Lobsters,
yes,
1,600.
Oh.
yeah, that's right.
Couldn't sustain the team.
It's a tiny town.
Am I right in saying that most of those were East Coast?
Ohio's a little inland.
well,
New York's east.
There's
Florida's
Midwest and East.
Denver's
And then
central.
Yeah.
Dallas is in the middle somewhere. Chesapeake.
Was there any West at all? Oregon's or Washington or any Californian teams or anything?
No, the furthest east. Sorry, the furthest west
Is
is
it
the
Denver?
Outlaws in Denver.
Oh, that's just
So
interesting.
well, I guess it's similar to Aussie rules in Australia. Is not up in the north. Well, there actually are teams in the northeast, but it's not traditional. So I'm guessing maybe they just don't play it on the West Coast.
Interesting.
Maybe it's maybe more of a winter sport, and I don't know Florida's clearly not a wintry place. Shut up, Matt! God damn it. There's former teams include the Los Angeles Riptide. They only lasted a couple of years, and the San Francisco Dragons. So
Right.
they had a crack,
Not
but
a market.
they just didn't make it. But back to
The ramp.
the ramp or the launch.
Oh, yeah.
And their mascot, Apollo. So I'm thinking
Apollo?
it is something to do with
it must be.
rockets.
So launch. So a lot of the NASA launches are from Florida.
Right. Well, there you go. So
Oh.
that's what it would be. And it was suggested by listener Jonathan Holt. So this is what the mascot looks like for those in the studio. That's you, Dave.
It's an ape.
He's got a bit of a mohawk.
Yeah, blue and yellow hair. And on the website they've got his profile. Name, Apollo. Number, 00. Height, taller than the average monkey. Giving a lot away there, fair enough. Weight, a banana shy of 200 pounds. So I guess what's that banana weigh? Why don't just say 199 pounds? It's a confusing way to say your weight. Or just round it up. Just say 200 pounds.
I mean,
round
does
it up.
every player have a profile like this? A pumpkin away from 900 pounds.
215 pounds plus a cooked bowl of spaghetti with bolognese and a little bit of parmesan sprinkled on top. Hometown, Kennedy Space Center.
Okay,
all
there
right,
you go.
now
That's
we
in
go.
Florida.
I mean, if
yeah.
I had read all this and I should have remembered because also it says family great-grandfather Albert was the first ever primate astronaut way back in 1948. I don't believe that to be true, to be honest.
Really?
But
You know, there's a monkey named
I don't
Ham?
believe that guy in a stuffed suit, his great-grandfather was Albert who went into space. I believe Albert's real,
I see.
but I don't believe that this suited man monkey.
It did sound a little bit like you were doubting that a monkey went to space 70 years ago.
Was it? It would have been a chimp, right?
Probably.
I think they also sent spider monkeys, right?
Could have. We should look into that.
There was a monkey named Ham that went to space and came back.
And was super intelligent, if you believe The Simpsons.
No.
No, we will not be telling them that. Likes lacrosse, which is good because it'd be
Thank
awkward otherwise.
goodness.
Launch fans, also that's positive.
Oh, yeah.
Winning games, makes sense. Bananas and space. Just leave him alone, all right? He needs anyway. Dislikes bruised bananas and being asked if he has a barrel of monkeys. That's a very specific dislike. Does that happen a lot, Apollo?
I would ask that. I brought up barrel of monkeys last time I was on.
Well, but, I mean, you'll know now if you ever meet Apollo not to ask
Not to
him.
bring it up.
He also hates being mistaken for a squirrel.
Whoever wrote this had a great time.
And also, wow, very specifically, only mentions a couple of teams by name here. Dislikes Cannons in Boston, Machines of Ohio,
The Boston guys?
and Outlaws in Denver.
What's he got against Boston?
Well, I don't think he likes what they do with the monkeys over there. Slaving them.
Fair enough.
Making them, yeah, we should. People are either listening to this going, those monkeys helped so much for something, and how dare you joke about this? Or they're going, those poor monkeys.
yeah. I don't know. Which way will the outrage go?
Yeah. Favorite movies: King Kong, Space Chimps, 12 Monkeys, and all the Planet of the Apes movies. And we haven't done any of those. But we're actually, I think next week we're going to be doing the first of the Planet of the Apes reboots.
Right.
Obviously, we had to get the subplot of the Simpsons episode out of the way before you get to those.
Before we get to any of the Planet of the Apes movies.
That inspired the whole damn program.
Yeah. I mean, he goes on to talk about a lot of other things. Favorite foods include grilled lizard, which is a little dig at the New York team.
Oh, I see.
Rattler soup and bananas.
Yeah. Cop that. That's from this. The Portland bananas.
Favorite color: yellow for the launch and bananas. And then it says appearance fees: $150 for 1 hour, $50 per hour thereafter.
Is that a real quote?
End of its profile. Yeah,
That's great.
He's got his price.
And then it's just like an email, like a Yahoo address. You contact the guy in the suit.
So thank you very much to Jonathan Holt for that suggestion. If you do have any, I reckon I've got about maybe another 4 or 5 up my sleeve for Primate Sporting.
But you hadn't heard of Ramp?
I hadn't heard of. No, I had not heard of Ramp,
Rampo.
the Florida launch mascot, until Jonathan messaged in. So
that's
thank you so
good.
much for that.
That
Jonathan.
was a bloody good one.
That was a real good one.
Yeah.
And it also made me think of lacrosse, which I hadn't done since American Pie.
Neither had I. Well, I haven't seen American Pie, but I haven't thought about
You haven't
lacrosse
seen
for a very
American
long time.
Pie?
No.
Is there any chimps in it?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
you
talked
did? No, you
about
mentioned
this.
it.
I think
Can
one-
we do American Pie then? Because there's so much to unpack about that movie, and nearly 20 years later, I'd love to rewatch it and see how badly it's aged.
Yeah,
Well, I would be watching it for the first time.
Oh, no nostalgia at all.
I think unfortunately the monkey is really in it very briefly with Blink-182.
That's enough for me.
So thanks so much for coming in, you guys. That brings us to the end of another episode of Primates Podcast, the podcast where we have a good time talking about the monkeys.
I did have a good time.
That's so good. And you two both know this, that we're still looking for a sign-off to the episode. If I put one of you under some pressure, will you be
I've
able
got
to
a sign off.
Oh, you've already got one. Do you want to hear? I've been getting a few in from some listeners. If you want to hear a few,
Yeah.
Let me pull up my. I've got if you go to the Twitter, in my profile or in the Primates profile, there's a link to a form you can fill out for suggestions for different primate mascots or topics we should do. But it also has a thing asking to suggest a sign off. And we've got a few like Josh. If I'm struggling with the Josh part, the surnames are going to give me trouble. Josh got Schukel.
Oh no.
Josh got Schutzki.
Dave,
it looks German if you can.
Josh got Schutzki.
Thank you. Josh got Schutzki.
That's what it looks like to me.
And you have German heritage. He says, which I quite like this, it's time to make like a banana and end today's show. Little fake out there.
That's great. That's
Little
great.
fake out there. How about this one from Detective Herbert Covington? He says, and that's how the banana peels.
Oh, that's good.
That's pretty good. So a bit of pressure on you here. What about this one from Davis? These primates were prime great.
What about these primates are making me thirsty?
Not bad. Stefan,
You could just say these primates are prime apes.
yeah, but that's not necessarily true. Because in this episode we talked about a monkey.
Yeah, but if you're going to say the other one, what was the other one?
Prime great.
Yeah. The name's already a pun.
They're feeling pressure. They've signed in to give me a different suggestion, and then at the end I'll be like, we've got an idea for sign off? Like Stefan Prince has written.
Hang on, what?
In brackets on this form, I've got. Do you have any suggestion for a topic? And then there's another question.
You're
Do you have a
throwing
sign
this
off?
at them.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is them going. Ugh.
You're really put on the spot.
Stefan Prince goes in brackets. I'm sorry. Thanks for giving this a listen.
Ooh, that's really good.
I like it.
Anyway, Evan, what have you got here to sign us off? And thank you so much for joining us, Dave. Thank you so much for joining us, Evan. And as we always say, to finish, primates.
Chocolate away.
I don't get it.
It's from the Mattel.
Chocobot, which we did not mention all episode.
I think we should go
That'll
with
be disappointing.
Let's go with Prince's one.
Let's go with the given one. What was the given one?
Thanks for giving this a listen. I'm sorry.
This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates. I mean, if you want. It's up to you.